Aloha, and welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and you have to know that I'm bleeding blue with you. This is my power ranking show. This is the show where I take 16 remaining teams and tell you where I think their power is. Well, we're not down to 16 anymore. We have our first matchup, and all the game sixes are done. I normally was trying to do this before every Blues game, but since our Blues advanced to the second round for the third time in 4 years, don't want to talk about that fourth year, huh? Me either. It's fun. It's exciting. Things are going great for the Blues. We can't get too high. We can't get too low. We just got to let things move the way they're supposed to move. Now, with that being said, don't forget, my drive to 300 is on. I still need 14 more. I didn't pick up one last time. It happens. But I know you love me. I know that you do. So how about we get right into the rankings? And there's some surprises. I want you to remember that these are my rankings and how I feel the team should. They are not an indication of who I think will win the Stanley Cup or where they are. And this will be my last one until the start of round two. And at the start of round two, expect somewhat of a shakeup, because at that point, I will start looking at who has the best chance to win the Stanley Cup and who has the power going into round two. So let's get right into the rankings. Coming in at number 16, no surprise, the Lightning. You win the President's Trophy and get swept, that's where you belong, 16. Now, a little bit of a surprise, and I have Jet fans that watch this show, believe it or not, and they actually like it, and they told me they would continue watching. I hope they do, but they might be a little mad here. I dropped the Preds down 5 spots to number 15. Why are the Jets? Sorry, the Jets down 5 spots to 15. Well, why did I do that? I'm going to justify this drop. After that loss, the main thing that I heard coming out of Winnipeg, and not just Winnipeg, from a lot of the pundits, and when I say pundits, I do mean the YouTubers, the guys on YouTube that I watch, and I'm not going to mention any names, but the feeling to me was, what was coming out of Winnipeg was, the Jets lost that series, the Blues didn't win it, the referees were on their side, there was a lot of excuse making. And when you got to look, if you look at the stats from that series, it was very evenly matched, it was very hard fought. Neither team was giving up any ground, and the turnaround of that series was absolutely Schwartz's goal in Game 5 with 15 seconds left. But then you start complaining about Byfuglien pushing Sundqvist into the net. I'm sorry, that was absolutely on Byfuglien, not on Sundqvist. And by rule, it was a good goal, plain and simple. I think that's always a good goal. There is no I don't even know what the word is. There is no controversy there. That was always a good goal. And then you get the goal, Schwartz again scoring 27 seconds into the third period, the first period of Game 6, and you challenge that for interference. That was a bad challenge, plain and simple, because later when you could have had an interference challenge, it was gone on a bad challenge. You know, that's the rules of the NHL. The lucky bounces. The lucky bounces went St. Louis's way a little bit more than they went Winnipeg's way. I would just hope, and this is, you know, and I think that if the Blues had lost that series, what you would have heard first out of Blues players' mouth is, wow, that was a good team over there that just beat us. You heard that as an afterthought out of Winnipeg. Enough of that. So because of Winnipeg's drop, the Penguins bump up a spot to number 14. Another swept team. And then coming in at 13 are the Flames. They bump up a spot. That was a bad loss for the Flames. But the Avalanche are playing really good hockey. And the Central is a pretty tough division that didn't get the credit for it. At 12, I left the Predators. They could have dropped lower after their loss to Dallas. The Canes bumped up 2 spots. I thought I had them too high in the last rankings. However, with this, I'm pretty excited at how they handled that game against the Caps. And Game 7, anything could go. They have a chance at beating the Caps, and I never thought they would. At 10, dropping 4 spots, is the Knights. I'm sorry, Louis. But that overtime loss and it just kind of other teams jumped up and you know it's tough for me because right at 9 I have the Sharks who bumped up 2 spots. This is an evenly matched series, and this is a game 7 that could go either way. I'm absolutely on that. Number 8, I bumped the Caps 1 spot. Again, that was a tough loss, but with other teams moving up and down, I'll kind of leave the Caps there. Number 7 are the Leafs. That was a tough loss. I dropped them 3 spots. In your home building, you got to close it out. You got to close it out in Game 6. And this is going to make Game 7 in Boston so pivotal. I mean, both of these teams want to move forward. And they're both cup-worthy teams in my eyes. At number 6, I moved the Stars up 2 spots. Good series win. Dallas, that's a good series win. Now you have the first matchup. Dallas and St. Louis. St. Louis is the home team now. Who would have thunk it? Back in January when they were last in points. And I say that with a wink and a nod. Talked about that before. Going to be a tight, tough series. Be breaking this one down a little bit later in another show. Whoa, excuse me. At 5, dropping a couple spots are the Bruins. Sorry, Bruins, just some things happened there. Got to move you down a little bit. Actually, I think they only dropped 1 spot. Moving on up. 3 spots is the Blues at the number 4. Great series win. It's almost, hopefully, a franchise-defining moment. Those guys are playing together. Yes, I'm a Blues homer. I'll always admit that. And then the top 3 kind of stayed the same. I'll have the Avs at number 3. Great win over the Flames in 5 games. You lose the first one. I had you in last, and you just won the next 4. Showed that I was wrong. I give it to you, Colorado. Then at 2, the Blue Jackets. Now, I will say this. Don't expect the Blue Jackets to stay here after the Game 7s. Do not think that the Blue Jackets are the second best team going into the second round. But in the first round, they were. I'm going to leave it at that. Again, my rankings, my thought process. And at number 1 are the Islanders. And I'm giving a lot of thought to who should be number 1 after this. One of the things that I seen was I think the site, I got to double check this, is moneypuck.com. And they are like a percentage site. I mean, I don't know if they're I don't think they're a gambling site. I asked them to come on for an interview, and they declined. One of the things with MoneyPuck is they have been high on the Blues all year long. Even when the Blues were in last place, they had them sitting up a lot higher than I thought. So I'm kind of wondering if this site has a bias towards the Blues, because right now they have the Blues as the best chance of winning the Stanley Cup. And believe it or not, as much as I'm a Blues homer, I don't see that. Again, I did ask them to come on. They politely declined. Not much I can do about that. I want to get this show out for you. Like the power rankings if you do. I mean, I'm not getting a lot of ranks, but you know what? If you don't like them, give me the thumbs down and tell me why. Tell me why my rankings are all fucked up. I want to hear it. Hashtag all effed up. Let's see what you got, Blues fans. Or, let me replace that. Let's see what you got, hockey fans. Because like I said, first and foremost, I am a hockey fan. So, I bid you aloha, mahalo, and I'll see you on the next Blue Note Hockey Report.
go marching in. Oh, when the blues go marching in. Oh, I want to be in that number. When the blues go marching in. Oh, when the blues go marching in. Oh, when the blues go marching in. Oh, I want to be in that number. When the blues go marching in. Oh, when the blues go marching in. Oh, when the blues go marching in.